Hello champions, how are you doing? Well, there is always a practice that makes man perfect. Now, what do I mean by practice? I mean, behind every successful sportsman or a business owner or a successful politician, there are always practices that are done on a routine basis. And those practices, when they are done in the right way, that produces the result that we all see and call that successful. Today in this video, I am going to be discussing the daily routine of an entrepreneur. What should that be for an entrepreneur to become a propelling entrepreneur? So if you are somebody who has a very ad hoc routine, then this video is for you. Keep watching. Welcome back champions. My name is Hardik and I make videos to help your business grow. If you think what I say makes sense and if you think a conversation with me can help you troubleshoot some of your business challenges, then all you need to do is go onto my website, scroll a little down, select the relevant area that you need help on, answer a few very basic questions, and there you will be able to book a free one-on-one consultation call with me. Well, before I get into discussing the aspects of your routine, the routine that you must follow, let me tell you this. You may be somebody who would not be able to follow everything that I tell you. And the only reason behind why that is happening is because you are sucked into handling everyday business challenges. And these challenges only tell you that there are a lot of things broken in your business. So you got to correct them. I will encourage you to strive real hard to follow every item on this routine. And if you can't follow it 100% to start with, that's all right. You follow 10%, you do two things, one thing, doesn't matter. But strive to reach a point where you do everything that I'm going to say in the routine. And I guarantee you at this stage, if you follow the complete routine for absolute 6 months consistently, I guarantee you, you will be a different entrepreneur altogether. Your business is going to make significant changes for good, and your company is going to propel. So let's jump into the routine now. So there are 7 components in this routine and it takes approximately 6 hours to complete this routine. The rest of the hours you can leave it for your family, you can leave it for those ad hoc, unavoidable tasks that will come your way, and that's life. First things first, when you get up in the morning, a successful business owner must always have a powerful morning routine, and the focus is your mind and your body. Now, why I say this? If our mind is not in the right space, we will not be able to concentrate. And when we are not able to concentrate, we can't do the work well, which is one of the reasons why we tell students, right, that concentrate when you are studying, because only with concentration can the person remember everything, can actually absorb everything that's written in the textbook, and therefore good results. That philosophy stands true for you and for me. So what is the morning routine going to be like? Well, you can choose all of it or some of it. I start my morning by reading affirmations. So I feed my brain with some positive thoughts. I have a list of things that I read. I call that Propel affirmations. If you want to know what those are, and if you want a copy of that, leave your email address in the comment box and I will email it to you. The second thing that I do is I remind myself things that I have promised myself as my goals. I want my brain to remember that when I start working, this is what the final destination is for which I am even working. So I want my mind to remember that. The third thing that I do is I meditate. Meditation is an art of simply learning how to focus. I don't complicate it. I do it for just 10 minutes. For 10 minutes, I focus on my breathing simply to learn how to focus. Post that, I go to the gym. Now, gym is not necessary for all of you. You may like gymming. If that's your thing, then by all means go to the gym. If you don't like gymming, you have several other options. You can do yoga. You can go for a jog. You can go for cycling. Even a simple walk is good enough. But do this for at least 45 minutes. Because this is going to energize your body in such a way that the good, happy hormones are going to get released. So now your brain, which is reminded of the goal, which is reminded of all the positive things, is also going to be charged with positive hormones. This becomes a very solid morning routine. I call this Champions routine. We have a WhatsApp group that you may or may not be a part of. On this WhatsApp group, we send you a small clip, which is a motivational clip, audio clip. You can listen to it when you walk. We also send you a motivational quote every day so that you can take in some positivity. And we also send you a small meditation clip that you can listen to while you meditate, because sometimes at the beginning, it's not very easy to concentrate on your breathing for 10 minutes. If you think you want to be a part of this WhatsApp group, the link of this WhatsApp group is in the description box. Click on that and self-invite yourself. The second thing that you should do is immediately when you start working, you should give yourself what I call the CEO time. What do CEOs do? Well, they plan the big strategic games for their business, which means a new product portfolio that you want to bring in, or a new software that you want to, something that changes the way your business is placed in the market. The big elephant items in the room. A CEO time is used to remind yourself that and chalk out the minute actions that you got to take for that to become reality. I have a CEO time for myself where I think of how am I going to place myself 1 year down the line? What's my YouTube subscribers going to look like? What is my new offer going to look like? Whenever I have to launch a new training program, my CEO time is the place when I think about it, plan the minute details, and whatever I plan then is delegated later to my people so that things can action. You must have a CEO time because that's like giving you a helicopter view of what is going to shape the next transformation of your business. The third thing that you must do is if you have had CEO time and if you have listed items, obviously you've given those items to your managers, your supervisors, your people for them to carry it on. Besides, if you are constantly engaging with your team, there are smaller things that you asked your team to do. These smaller things are not tasks that I'm talking about. I'm talking about improvements. You may have told your sales guy that, hey, you know what, starting next week, I want you to be meeting more people, and more means 6 more people. You may have told your inventory guy that I want this rack to be arranged very, very well. You may have told your accounts team that I want to see this report starting Monday every day at 9 a.m. Now, all of these are improvements, and you must know and spend some time figuring out what is the status of all the improvements that you've asked people to make. This is so vital and so important. This itself has a chance to propel your company by 10 to 20%. If you have 5 supervisors, if each one of them know that you're going to check on an everyday basis, check not to really monitor them or to keep a watch on them. That's not the intention. The intention is to check the status of that improvement, and if they need help, you can provide that help. So this is the second slot after I start my work. I check on the kind of improvements that I've asked my people to do. It also makes sure that I don't slip on the improvements that I've asked people to make. I always have a check. The fourth one has an option. You could do either the fourth or the fifth. So let's understand the fourth first. The fourth one is called Gemba. If you don't know what Gemba is, well, simply put, it is going where the work is happening and trying to solve if there are any problems or try and improve the performance in the way they do it. If you want to know more about Gemba, I have very recently done a video on that. The link of that is going to be in the description box, and it will also appear if you're watching this on YouTube on the eye icon on the top. So do Gemba, because that will give you a possibility to interact with your team, to understand the real problems and to solve it as a team. You're not giving solutions, you are participating to construct a solution. The fifth thing, which can be an alternate to the fourth point, the Gemba, is the Propel Hour. Now, why do I call it Propel Hour? Because this is a time when I review all the reports that come to me from the departments, and I try and make sense of those reports. These reports tell me what is happening where. So a marketing report tells me whether our ad copies are giving results. A sales team tells me whether we are able to generate and convert business from the leads that we've gathered because of our marketing efforts. The Q&I report, which is a report that tells me how my consulting projects are going and are we really focusing on the big things for each of my clients. I look at these reports and make sense of it. Two things happen here. When I make sense of it, I may call my staff and I will appreciate them if the work has been super good. If it has not been right, because practical life, right? Not all things go right. So if things are going or getting derailed, I call them up and I don't tell them that they've done it wrong. I call them and I ask them, what is it that you find out when you look at this report? What's the sense that you derive out of this report that I'm seeing? And then I say and ask questions to get that person to understand and reach the same conclusion that, hey, you know what? Maybe we are focusing on too smaller improvement for this client. And why should we focus on this and not focus on something else? So it's more of a discussion. I call this a way of coaching. If the person realizes and reaches the level where you have reached and understands the problem, in fact, not even understands, discovers the problem the way you did, the chances of that person coming onto the track is going to be far, far greater. So I do that also. There is an added advantage to looking at reports. When you look at reports, there are questions that are going to come to your head, and these questions can be answered by modifying those reports or adding reports. Now, every time I have to add report, I also have to tell myself what is it that is not giving me enough intelligence, and I want to delete those reports. So the more reports I see, the more right and intelligent reports I see, I understand where my business is going. And the more I coach people, which is help them discover what I have discovered, we become a team. We become like the same soul in different bodies. I would recommend you alternate between the fourth and the fifth. So every alternate days, you see the reports. Every other day, you do Gemba. So is the case with sixth and the seventh point. You can again alternate between them. So the sixth point is all about knowing your market. I'm a great promoter of doing things that your customer really wants. And what differentiates us from our competitors a lot of times is how well I understand my customers. And this comes out of this very activity that is a part of my routine, which is know your market. All you got to do is visit a customer if possible, or talk to a customer if possible, and simply try and investigate how his life is with respect to your product. I don't ask him questions like, what is it that I can do for you? I don't ask him that, because I'm a consulting company. I ask him, how is business? And this open-ended question throws open a lot of things that are going on in the heads of my customer. And that gives me an opportunity to pick up what I think I should pick up, and therefore create a coaching plan or the next thing that I'm going to tell my consultant or my sales guy or anybody else, right? So pick up the phone, talk to your customer one-on-one, have a very personal, detailed conversation. If possible, go and have a coffee, go in his office, meet your customer. Nothing wrong in doing that, but know your market. The seventh point. Now, this is also extremely important. Now, if you want to really be successful, you need to be able to take decisions. And these decisions will lead to actions, and actions will lead to results. So if you don't take decisions, there is no new action, there is no new result. Now, where does these decisions come from? These decisions come from your view of the world and the market and the industry that you are a part of. So if your view is very narrow, then your decisions are going to be an outcome of that narrow view. If you have to widen your view, you have to look at your market in different ways, and that will mean self-education. You want to learn about what are the new technologies coming in your industry. You want to learn what are the biggies, the top 3, the top 2 are doing in your industry. What are the disruptions that are coming? Disruptions need not be technological disruptions only. It could be many others. What are the developed markets doing, when it comes to your industry? So what is happening in your industry in the US? Understanding that can broaden your perception and the possibilities that you otherwise would never ever see. So learning is not only learning a skill. Of course, that also is important, but learning also, upgrading also means learning about the market and the world and how it's working and what is making it work as a whole. So you absolutely must spend a good enough of time upgrading yourself and widening your perception of the world, of your industry, and what the consumer is really, which direction the consumer is really going at. These 7 steps will roughly take you about 6 hours. Okay. And you got to do this, all of it, for 6 months. I promise you, I absolutely promise you, this is the simplest way of making substantial change in your company. Like I said before, if you can't do all of these, if you can do 1 or 2, don't wait for everything to be perfect. Do that 1 or 2 and ask yourself, what is keeping me away from doing all of it? And those are the things that you have to correct. If you like this video, do hit a big fat thumbs up. Share this video with everybody who's a manager, supervisor, CEO, your friend who runs an organization. It will help him propel as well. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please show some love to the subscribe button. I'm waiting to have you on my side. So hit that subscribe button, break the hell out of it. Hit that bell icon. You don't want to not be notified every time I put the video. Learn, implement, and all you lovely folks, keep propelling.